In this video, we're going to learn how to use the mailing system so you guys can get your postcards out. In this, we're obviously, again, assuming that you've already logged in, you're in the mailing section. Also, we're assuming that you've already created your lists through the other tutorial back on the list page. Now, in here, we're going to simulate a creation of a mailing from a list that we've uploaded. And it's pretty simple and straightforward. Some of the benefits and uses of the system is that if you have, for example, 2,000 pieces, as it says up in the top paragraph, say if you had 2,000 pieces and you wanted to split it into 4 mailings to keep it a little more manageable, you can do so by simply using this piece right here under the new mailing to set it up for 4 different mailings. So you would actually split the 2,000 pieces into 500 piece mailings, and it would go out 4 times. You also have the ability to set it if you wanted to go out monthly, every week, and so on. So it's very simple to set up. First thing we're going to do is you're going to give the mailing a name, and it should be something that you could recognize. So down the road, if you wanted to resend a mailing, you can simply use that same mailing, apply a new list or what have you, but it should be something that makes sense. But for our purpose, we're just going to call it a test mail. The item to use is basically this is a drop down of all of the pieces or the postcards in the system. So if you're not quite sure which one of these are, you could always go back into the shopping area and go through those sections there and see which one it is, look at the title and select the title here. So we're going to go with one about you. Now the type of list is we're going to use your list, which is the ones we've uploaded. As you can see, as you select the different ones, it'll show you the different lists that you have in the system, whether it's your uploaded ones or the system list. So like I said, we're going to use the ones we've uploaded. We do have the one in there that is called new test list, and we're going to check that off. Because there could have been any number of lists in here, but as before, we've only uploaded one list. Now you select the mailing start date. This is important because it has to be outside the range of 72 hours to ensure that we can process the information, take care of the postcards, get them all ready to go, verify everything, and then get it in the mail. So anything really before that might be a little too close, and we want to make sure it gets out in the proper timing. And you also know when it's going to be going out. So you would select here, and let's see, we'll click November 1st. This is where I was talking before about the split mailing. This is where you can say I want to go out in a split of 2, 4, or 6. So we're just going to say no splits for this one. The split timing is the other part I was talking about. As you could say how often these splits would go out. And like I said, every week, every 2 weeks, or monthly are your options. And for this purpose, we're just going to say none. The mail amount. Now, if you had, for example, if you know in that list you have 2,000 names and you really only want to use 1,000, you could actually just put in 1,000 here, and it'll make the split off of 1,000. So you'd have 250, say, if you were going to split it 4 times. So you can do it that way, or maybe you just want just 250 names and no splits. So you can control that right here. This is a nice little piece right here for you that you can save and handle everything on your own. Now, what this does for you is if you check off this address don't mailbox, what that does is it processes the order as if, it was a standard order. But the only thing we don't do is we will not do any postage for you. We won't do any mailings. There'll be no indices, anything like that put on there. All it's going to do is it's going to print the cards, and it's going to address them to all the people in your list. And then it's going to take all of those cards and mail them to you, so you or whoever is going to help you out can simply mail them as you need, and you know exactly who's, if you need to do 5 a day or 1 a day or 10 a week or whatever, that's what you manage. You'll be able to do that this way as well. Now, for a mailing, you have nonprofit and first class. If it's below 200 pieces, it's automatically going to be first class. If it's above that, you get the nonprofit rate. And if you make a mistake and you try to set it to nonprofit and it falls under the 200 piece minimum, it will let you know so. So we would basically, here we would add mailing, and we'll just pretend we did. And right here you can see this is the information that comes up once you've added a mailing. You can add as many mailings as you want. That's simply putting them in the system. For this purpose, we're looking at an uploaded list mailing where these are the lists this is a mailing created from the list that we've uploaded. The system mailings are the ones of the list that you've created from the system, and we've learned about that in the past list area video. Now, you can have as many as you want for either category. Basically, what you're looking at is you can set your mailings up in advance if you'd like. You can put as many as you want in here, and even though you're creating the mailings, it has nothing to do with purchasing or anything like that. Now, basically, nothing happens with the mailings until you come down here and you add it to the cart. So if you don't add it to the cart, nothing's going to happen. You can simply just keep creating your lists and managing how you want everything to be. Then you can fire it off whenever you need it to be. Fire it off, and you'll know when everything's happening. And as you can see in here, it tells you the type of shipping method, which for the postage would be first class, because if you see the mail quantity is only 21 pieces, so it automatically comes to that. There's that address don't mail piece says no, so these will be shipped out. There was no split, so there is no split timing, and this is the item that we're doing. It's about you. It's that about you card. This is the date it was set up. This is the date that we wanted it to start going out. And this also gives you the postage cost. And what this does is this is calculated off whatever the current postage rate is in the system. And we keep that up to date as postage rates fluctuate. So we can also come in here and edit the mailing. And you can change the start date. Maybe you want to have it a split, or change the mailing name or the item to use. You can do all that in here. So that's pretty simple and straightforward. Now you can also, of course, delete the mailings. So we're going to add it to the cart, and it says your mailing date was too close to the purchase date. So basically it's saying that this date here has to be after. If I created this before, so we're just going to say November 15th, say, and we're going to edit the mailing. Mailing edited. It's going to go back. Now let's try adding it to the cart. Add it to the cart. All right, now if we go back into our cart, we can see that this is the mailing we just put together and the one we just went through, and now you can see it in the cart. It gives you the pricing over here, it gives you the postage charges, postcard charges, and the grand total, so you can see. Now from here, as we learned before with the list video, we can do the continue shopping, checkout, empty, printable version, all that other good stuff. So that's pretty much it. There's really not a whole lot else to do with the mailings. It's pretty straightforward once you get the idea of what you're looking at here.